just realized I'm not on mute, or I'm not muted.
No, we can hear you. We
Oh,
can hear
awesome.
you.
Okay.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful.
That was the practice run. I can do it again, or I can do it
No, it's great.
again. All right.
There you go. I've made you host. If you could please make me co-host, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
We're streaming.
All right.
Wonderful.
Charu, would you like Maha Mantra, or is that good with the bhajan?
Yeah, a little bit of Ma mantra, please. Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to hear you.
Okay. How about now?
Oh, we've got an echo.
Echo.
You'll have to
Okay.
mute one of your Zooms.
Okay.
There you go.
That's better?
Yeah, perfect. Oh, wait, there's still a little echo.
Hold on. Let me come out of this one. Okay. How about now? Too soft?
Let's see. I don't hear an echo.
Okay. Can you hear my voice okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Didi, we lost you there.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Varga, Jaya Guru Varga, Guru Varga, Jaya Guru Varga, Jaya Nityananda Gauranga, Gaura Hari Jaya, Nityananda Gauranga Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Okay, thank you so much, Krishna Prema. So very beautiful. Thank you. Dandavat pranams. Dandavat pranams to everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to you all, especially Shipad Mukunda Prabhu, who I see is here. Actually, he's so much more learned than myself, and he can share whenever he feels to. So I was going to say last week, it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. We had the first introduction to the Bhakti Basics, which was about the Vedas, about Praman, evidence, and we went through that by step, very systematically. And I don't know how many of you were in the last part of the course, the introduction. But anyway, I was thinking what would be really nice is if one of you could give a little brief summary of what we spoke last time. So I know Manini Radha Didi was here last time. So Didi, would you like to
Yeah,
say?
sure. I would, because it was really fantastic. For those who weren't here last time, as Charu Didi was saying, we talked about some basics. What is Bhakti Yoga? And basically that's a sadhana or a practice to awaken our dormant love for God. And we talked about this also about Sanatan Dharma, which is like the true function of our souls, and the intrinsic true function of our souls. And then we talked about the Vedas and the fact that Vedas mean perfect knowledge. And this perfect knowledge is knowledge that was originally imparted from the Supreme Lord himself directly into the heart of Brahma and is passed down through a disciplic succession. And that the essence of these Vedas, the essence of this faultless knowledge is Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Bhagavad Gita. And we talked about how that process of descending knowledge, Avaroha Panta, I think, if I'm not forgive me if I'm not pronouncing things correctly, I'll do my best, but that there's basically three kinds of descending knowledge. The Shrutis, or that which we are hear passed down from guru to disciple. There's also Shabda Brahma, the transcendental sound vibration, and Shabda Prama, which is Praman, which is evidence that's from Shastra. And the opposite of that descending knowledge is Aroha Panta, which is ascending knowledge, knowledge that we are more speculative about or may originate more from our own meditation. And when we're talking about these kinds of knowledge and how one comes into awareness of them, or what's the proof or evidence or praman, there are 10 types of praman. The 10 types of praman are pratyaksha, which is a direct perception. There's anuman, which is inference, like if you see smoke, you think there's fire. Arsha, which are statements of sages. Now, these sages may or may not be bona fide guru, but they're learned. So there's, all of these evidences that I'm saying, except for the last one, have some margin of error because we have error. But the fourth kind of evidence is upaman, or an analogy or comparison. There's artapati, which is presumption. Abhav, which is a proof by an absence of something. Sambhav, which is a likelihood or a probability of something. Aitya, which are traditional or historical accounts of information. cheshta, which is gesturing. Like I gesture a lot when I talk, but like you can hold up hands or whatever to say, this is so. That's one way of having knowledge. And then the one dependable way of one dependable type of praman is shabda, or revealed knowledge through the Vedas. And again, the first 9 types are problematic for us because we are all subject to 4 defects. Brahm, which is illusion, pramad, which is error, vipralipsa, which is a cheating propensity, and karanapatava, which is our imperfect senses. And so last week, all of that wonderful knowledge and revelation that Charu took us through leads us to the conclusion that we need help to know truth. And that help comes from a bona fide guru or SriGuru, someone who is getting that knowledge, that descending knowledge from the Lord, handed down through a bona fide disciplic succession. So we covered all of that last week. Hopefully that summary is okay, Charu.
Oh, that was great. It was amazing. Wow.
And I
really
thank you
picked
guys
up a
so
lot
much for all of that.
well done. Thank you so much, Didi. Okay, so we can move on with today's topic, which is Guru Tattva. And we started off with a beautiful bhajan about Guru by Krsna Prema. So there's lots of points to cover. It's a huge topic. There's so much knowledge in the Vedas, in the, of course, the essence of the Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and so many other books, Jaiva Dharma, about SriGuru. So we can speak on this today with the help of our slides, because I was thinking that a PowerPoint presentation is very good because visual effect can really help us focus, and also we can imbibe the knowledge a little more deeply, hopefully. So that's the idea. Anyway, Krsna Prema, would you show our first slide, please?
All right, I'm just going to open it up here. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, are we there? Yeah, nice, great. So part 2, Guru Tattva, the principle and necessity of accepting a guru. So there may be many questions to do with this topic, which we'll move on to on the next slide. Krsna Prema. Okay, so someone may ask the question, why do we need a guru? Why can't we just approach God directly? Why not? So I was thinking we can move on to the next slide to open up for answers on this question, but very brief. If anyone can think of any answers, of course, we'll go through this step by step, but if any of you want to say anything about this. Yes, Manini Radha Didi.
I was just going to say just what we were just talking about in the recap, that the fact that on our own, there's just so much margin for error and for misunderstanding that we need a way to validate our conclusions. And you need someone who has perfect knowledge to impart perfect knowledge. That would be SriGuru.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so there's many points to this, and actually from time to time, Karuna Didi will be asking everyone questions about what we've been through. So it's good if you can pay attention and take note as much as you can. And after, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides, then we'll kind of go over it by asking questions and see what you remember like that. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So this means the essence of the Vedas. What are the essence of the Vedas? Well, the great personality, Lord Brahma, studied the Vedas 3 times with great concentration. And after scrutinizingly examining them, he ascertained that devotion for Sri Krishna is the highest spiritual perfection. So he ascertained that Krishna Bhakti is the highest perfection. So it's understood that a great scholar will study 3 times. And Lord Brahma, being a great scholar, but also he's a disciple of who? Krishna himself, because he heard from Krishna. And who is Krishna? Krishna is Jagat, the guru of the entire world. So after being inspired by Krishna, he heard from him and he was inspired to study the Vedas 3 times. And through that inspiration and mercy, he got the understanding that Krishna Bhakti is the highest spiritual perfection, the highest goal of life. So this is understood in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Sarvadharma Pratyagya Mameka Saranam Vraja, just surrender to me, give up all dharma and just surrender to me. And what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Man mana bhavamad bhakto majjaji mamanaskuru mame vashishisatjamte pratijani priyoshi me. So Krishna says, become absorbed in me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your pranams, your obeisances unto me, and thus you will certainly come to me. So there's many verses like that in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhaktyamana Bijanati means, oh, only by Krishna Bhakti one can attain me, attain Krishna. So there's so much evidence of this, but Lord Brahma, he understood this and he revealed it to the world, revealed it to everyone in the entire material existence. So we can go on to the next slide. So the question may come, how can we attain bhakti? So the answer comes, only by the mercy of a pure devotee can one attain bhakti. And what is the praman for that? Actually, it's very important that when we're trying to understand anything, when we're trying to present anything, that we should present praman, which means evidence from the scriptures. Just like Ramananda Roy, when he was with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was asking him, what is the goal of life? Please tell me. But he said, don't tell me from your imagination or anything. He said, no, I want praman. I want evidence, shastric evidence, evidence from scripture. So as we're going through this, we'll try to present as much shastric evidence as possible. So what's this verse? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabunai Shravanadi Sudha Chitte Karya Adoy. Krishna Prema is eternally established in the hearts of the jivas. It is not something to be gained from another source or brought about by sadhana. It manifests itself by the mercy of a Sadhguru in the heart purified by the performance of the various limbs of bhakti. So here it's explaining that we're all eternal servants of Krishna. And Krishna Prema is already there in our hearts in a dormant state, but it's covered. It's covered by illusion, ignorance. So only by the mercy of a Sadhguru can it be uncovered and naturally awakened. So that's why, this is one reason why we need this Sadhguru. Sadhguru means a realized guru, pure guru. So we can go on to the next slide, please. Okay, this is another evidence. Mahat Kripa Binakong Kami Bhakti Nai Krishna Bhakti Doi Rahu Samsara Nahi Shai. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So unless one obtains the mercy of a pure devotee, one cannot attain bhakti. To say nothing of bhakti for Shri Krishna, one cannot even become free from the bondage of material existence. So in this verse, it's saying that unless someone is blessed by the pure devotee, none of his activities that he performs in devotional service can be considered bhakti. So what to speak? Even that person cannot extricate himself from the entanglement of material existence. So we cannot possibly even liberate ourselves. It's just said that just as if one's hands are tied behind his back, how will one be able to untie that knot if it's a very strong knot? Only if someone whose hands are untied comes and unties that knot. In other words, if we're entrapped in this material existence, and we're in a prison, it's not possible that we can free ourselves. So only one who is liberated, a Sadhguru, can come and liberate us. And not only he can liberate us, but he can give us pure devotion. So only by his mercy can we possibly attain bhakti. It's not possible that we can attain by any other means besides the mercy of pure devotee. We can perform all kinds of devotional activities, devotional services, but if we don't have that pure devotee's guidance, if we don't have his blessings, then whatever we do isn't to be considered bhakti. Okay, I think we can move on. Next slide. Oh, I was meant to say also, it said, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastakoi, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. That only by one moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all perfection. So can you imagine, if we're fortunate that we come into association with a Sadhguru, then just one moment of his association, we can attain all perfection. We can attain Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema, love of God, and we can go to the spiritual world. So, this next praman, evidence. Nayam matma pravachanena labyo namedya nabuna shrutena yameva shavrinute tena labyasta sheshat atma vrunute tanusvam. So, what is the meaning? The absolute truth is beyond all sense perception or mental speculation, and therefore cannot be realized by much hearing or discussing the conclusions of the Vedas, nor can he be known by great intelligence, by vast learning. Krishna actually reveals himself only to that person whom he himself chooses. So there's another verse which relates to this by Lord Brahma. It says, Atapi te deva padambuja dvaya prasada le sanu guhita evahi janati tattvam bhagavam mahim no nachanya eko pi chiram vichimvan. So Lord Brahma, he's saying, oh my Lord, only one who is favored by even a slight trace of your mercy can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate are unable to know you, even though they study the Vedas for many years. So even Lord Brahma is the creator of the entire universe. He has 4 heads, but still he realized that it's not possible to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without getting a slight trace of your mercy. So how will we get Krishna's mercy? And who will Krishna choose to bestow that mercy upon? Any ideas? We can go on to the next slide. So this answers the question that actually one who worships and serves his guru, one who surrenders to one's guru, then he will become very dear to Krishna, and Krishna will bless that person and reveal himself to that person. So here, pratamam tu gurum pujas, tatas cheva mamarchanam, kuvam siddham avapnoti, yanyata nishvalam bhave. So Krishna himself has instructed that one must always worship one's guru first, and only then worship me. If one follows this process properly, one will naturally attain all perfection. But if one neglects this process, then everything will be fruitless. So, Krishna's telling that, okay, you want to worship me? Some people, they say, yes, I will worship God directly. I don't need any guru. And I can speak to God, I can serve him directly. No need for anyone else. No need for a guru like this. But Krishna himself is saying that actually you do need guru. And this is my instruction. This is my process that I'm giving you. Actually, if someone's unmuted, maybe you can mute. Okay. So Lord Brahma, he was studying like the Vedas. He was, I was saying before, that such a highly elevated scholar. He knew so much, yet he couldn't really understand completely Krishna by all his study and by actually Krishna was his guru, but he was giving this understanding that even though one may have so many materially good qualifications, we may be a great scholar, we may be highly educated, but what will give realization of God? Krishna, who is only attracted by bhakti, by pure devotion, then he will be looking at the heart. He will be looking to see, oh, whose heart is very soft and sweet. And actually, the person whose heart is very soft and sweet is only that person whose heart has been imbued with bhakti, pure devotion. And where does that bhakti come from? That bhakti comes from that pure guru. So Krishna will choose that person who has come under the shelter and guidance of Guru, who's surrendered to Guru, who's performing Vishvambhena Guru Seva, which means very intimate service to his Guru. That person will become very near and dear to Krishna. So Krishna says, if you follow this process, you'll attain all success. You'll get the fruit of this. And that is Krsna Prema. So next slide. So I was also meant to say that a lotus flower, it's situated in water. So the rays of the sun, it cause it to blossom. So that same sun, however, will wither a lotus that is not situated in water. Now, in this example, what is the sun? What is the water? And so the guru, he's compared to be as the water. And the Lord is like the sun. So that disciple is the lotus. And when the lotus, as in the disciple, is situated in the water, as in Guru's lotus feet, then that disciple will blossom. That disciple will blossom. In other words, his bhakti lata bij will blossom. It will grow from being a seed. Bhakti lata bij means the seed of devotion. So it will grow from being a seed, it will sprout leaves, and it will grow and sprout more leaves and grow higher and higher until it reaches the lotus feet of Krishna. And the fruit of that disciple's service will be Krsna Prema. And that Krsna Prema will take him directly to Krishna. So Krishna says Guru Seva is the best. He says, Nahamija prachati byam taposo pasamenava tushayam savabhutatma gu shushushayata. I, the soul of all beings, am not as satisfied by ritual worship, Brahminical initiation, austerity, or self-discipline, or even by one who perfectly follows Varna Ashram Dham, as I am by faithful service rendered to one's Guru. So, actually, Krishna, as well as Lord Ramachandra, it was Ramnavami the other day, the appearance day of Lord Ram, Wednesday here, and all other incarnations, they showed the example that even Krishna himself, Ramachandra himself, they accepted a guru. They showed this is the process, and this is what will satisfy Bhagavan, Krishna. So, of course, there's many examples. Krishna gave the example himself. One time when he was at the school of his guru, Sandipani Muni, and he was there with his very good friend Sudam. Then he one time, his wife, actually, Sandipani Muni's wife, she sent them to the forest to collect firewood. So they went to the forest, and suddenly a big storm came, and the whole sky everywhere was filled with darkness, and they couldn't find their way around. They became completely lost. So they were thinking, oh, what to do? We cannot move here and there. It's so dark. We cannot find our way. And the storm, the rain, and the winds are so ferocious. How can we go anywhere? So they just simply stood in the forest, and they held this firewood on their heads and tried to protect it from the rain. They stood under the shelter of a tree. So like this, they stood for the whole night. Can you imagine? But then the guru, Sandipani Muni, he was wondering, well, where are they? They haven't returned. What has happened to them? So he became very worried, and he decided to go into the forest and search for them. So then he went, and he was calling out their names, oh Krishna, oh Sudam. And then eventually he came across them, and he saw them holding the firewood, shivering like this, so cold, and they hadn't slept or eaten the whole night, and his heart melted completely. Tears came to his eyes, and he said, oh, my children, you have suffered greatly for my sake. The body is most dear to anyone. And I see that you are so dedicated to me that you've sacrificed everything, your bodily comforts, your safety, everything you've sacrificed for me. Actually, this is the duty of every true disciple. That every true disciple has a debt to pay to their guru for what his guru's given. And in this way, you are repaying your debt. You've sacrificed everything. You've given me everything. Like this, Krishna and Sudam gave this very example themselves of what it means to surrender to Guru. And then what did Sandipani Muni do? He said, oh, I am so satisfied with you. He said, may all your wishes come true, and may all the essence of the Vedas manifest in your heart. So like this, Krishna gave the example himself of what it means to take shelter of Guru, to follow the Guru's instructions, to sacrifice everything for Guru. And in that way, what will Guru give? Guru will give everything to that disciple. So we can go on to the next slide, please. So, ye me bhakta janapata name bhaktas jate janaha ma bhakta nam chaye bhaktas tame bhakta tamamataha. From Adi Purana. Those who claim to be my direct devotees are actually not my devotees at all, but those who consider themselves as the servants of my devotees are factually my devotees. So actually we see here in this world, everyone wants to become master. No one wants to become servant. They always, like Srila Prabhupada would always say that, you know, oh, everyone wants to become master of all they survey. Like this, we see in the whole history of this world and other worlds that there was so many who wanted to get to the top of the tree, become master, not servant. But actually, Srila Prabhupada would often say that Hiranyakashipu, what was he? He seemed like he was master, but actually he was Godas, which means servant of his senses. So actually, in this world, no one can truly be master. No one can truly be the supreme controller. But who is true? The only supreme controller is Krishna. And his dear devotee comes to this world. Samsara Lida Loka, Tranaya Karana Gana Gana. He comes to this world and seeing the suffering of the jivas, the living entities in this world, who are suffering the three types of miseries. Misery, adhyatmic, adibhotic, adidaivic miseries. Miseries pertaining to the body and mind, or other living entities, or by natural causes. They're suffering and they're burning in this material existence. So Krishna's heart melts and his heart condenses and becomes very, the essence of his heart becomes very condensed and very thick, and that takes a form in this world as Sadhguru, pure Guru. So then those who are suffering, gradually they may come across a pure Guru and become servants of that Guru. They won't say, oh, actually, I'm a direct devotee of God. I'm a direct servant of Krishna. No, they will say, no, I'm only servant of my Guru. I'm servant of the servant of the servant. Like even could be servant of one who's serving my Guru, even like this. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Naham Vipona Charnarapati Napi Vaishya Sudro. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, or Sannyas. I am none of these bodily designations, or I'm not in any particular ashram as such. I don't identify myself with that. But who am I actually? I'm the eternal servant of the servant of Krishna. So like this, Krishna says, one who has become that servant of my servant, then he is really my devotee. So we can go on to the next slide, please. Oh, it's questions. Okay, so we can just briefly go to the, was it, I can't remember which slide, maybe the first, not the first slide, but keep going back. Okay, go back again, more. Okay, that's it. Yes. Okay, so just quickly have a brief look at all these slides because there's going to be some questions. So just to refresh your memories, just have a quick look. Okay, next slide, please. And here, only by the mercy of a pure devotee can one attain bhakti. Next slide, please. Unless one obtains the mercy of a pure devotee, one cannot attain bhakti. Okay, next. And whom will Krishna reveal to himself to? Okay. Yes, next one. Krishna himself has instructed us to take shelter of a Sadhguru. He said you should worship Guru first and only then after worship me. Okay. Next. And Guru Seva satisfies Krishna more than anything else. Okay, next slide. And those who claim to be my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but only those who consider themselves servants of my devotees are actually my devotees. So we'll finish there and go to the answer slide. Question slide, I mean. Okay. So, Karuna, Didi, are you ready with the questions?
I'm ready. Krishna Priya, if we could put people on gallery view, then if you go off of screen share and go on gallery view, then if you would like to answer the question, you can just raise your hand and go ahead and answer. There we go. We just need to change from the screen share to, there we go, to gallery view here. And then let me change my gallery view. Yes, if you'd like to answer the first question is, what did Lord Brahma realize after studying the Vedas 3 times? And if you'd like to answer, oh, my Nini.
That Krishna is the essence. Is that the
Krishna's
main
the
realization? How do you put it?
A little bit more.
Well,
Krishna
that,
is the essence, did you say, or something else?
that Krishna, or Krishna Bhakti, I guess. Krishna Bhakti is the essence.
That's
So devotion to Krishna, or our ability to love God, is the essence of the Vedas.
Krishna Prema is the highest perfection of life. Yes, very good. All right, so next question. Great.
Next question is, can Krishna Prema be obtained by performing sadhana? And if you'd like to answer, you can raise your hand, or you can also just say in the chat. Oh, we have Shamali. Please go ahead.
Can you repeat the question again?
Sure. The question is, can Krishna Prema be obtained by performing sadhana?
Did we skip? Did you skip that?
Krishna Prema is obtained by only one who has pure bhakti, so it cannot be attained by our efforts.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Very nice.
Krishna Prema Kavanai Shravanadi Sujitite Karya Udai. So this verse means Krishna Prema is eternally established in the hearts of all living entities. Did we actually go over that slide? I can't even remember.
We did. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's not something to be gained from another source, but it's not something that's brought about by one sadhana, but it only manifests by the mercy of SriGuru. So in the heart that's purified by one's sadhana. So the heart gets purified by sadhana, by practicing all limbs of bhakti, like hearing, chanting, and remembering about Krishna. And then the SriGuru sees our efforts, then he will bestow his mercy upon us, and we will get Krishna gradually Krishna back, like that.
Mukunda Prabhu, you have your hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a nuance for the verse. Our Srila Prabhupada, when they were translating the verse, this verse was the Bengali translation from the verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Kriti Sadhya Bhavet Sadhya. So that verse in Sanskrit was translated into Bengali by Krishna Goswami. So the Krishna Prema is eternally perfect. And the potential for that prema is in the heart of the jiva, much like a piece of iron has a natural connection with a magnet. And if you buried the piece of metal underground very deeply, even if the magnet passes over, then there's no access. So when sadhana clears the dirt away, beginning Shravanadi, and then the chitta becomes pure, it's like that piece of metal has now come to the surface. So when the magnet comes, at that time, naturally the metal will attract to the magnet. So it's not that the prema is in the jiva, it's covered because the prema is composed of Swarup Shakti. It's composed of spiritual energy. So it cannot really be covered, but the potential that's there in the jiva, that can be covered by avidya. And when that avidya is removed and the jiva is in his natural state, then when Swarup Shakti comes from the heart, as Charu Chandrika Didi is saying, from the heart of any pure Vaishnava, the jiva can make that connection.
Yes, very, very nicely explained. Thank you so much, Mukunda. It's perfectly said.
Wonderful. Okay, we have two more questions. This one is a big one. So to whom does Krishna choose to reveal himself? What is Krishna most satisfied by? And who does Krishna consider to be his devotee? So again, it's who does Krishna choose to reveal himself to? What is Krishna most satisfied by? And who does Krishna consider to be his devotee? And if you'd like to answer all three of those questions in one or one of them, please raise your hand. Oh, we've got, let's see here. Oh, Manini.
I will answer just the first one, which is that Krishna chooses, he reveals himself to whom he chooses. That's what we covered. So I think that's
But
great.
who will he choose? Who will he choose?
He will he chooses, well, it says by our sadhana, maybe we become qualified, as we're saying, to be chosen, but I'm not sure. But if we hear, we are discussing the Vedas, if we are also submitting to a guru, to a bona fide guru, that puts us in a pretty good likelihood.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know someone else may have more.
One who's taken shelter of Guru, surrendered to Guru, yes. Who has pure love for Guru, has Guru Nishta. Gurudev used to always say Guru Nishta is the backbone of bhakti. That means firm faith in Guru. It's the backbone of bhakti. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else want to answer?
The last part of that question is who does Krishna consider to be his devotee? Jamali, your hand's up.
Okay, there we go. Who does Krishna consider to be his devotee? Well, it's so beautiful. The servant of the servant of the servant. He considers to be his devotee. And I'll just say that one of the things that you said, Charachandrika, was so beautiful, where you said that Krishna chooses the softest hearts. He goes looking for the softest hearts. So beautiful.
That heart that's imbued with bhakti.
Very nice, thank you. And
Very
we have one
nice.
more
Thank
question.
you so much.
Thank you. If you're worshiping the deities and Guru walks in the room, what should you do? And anyone can answer this. Just raise your hand, or you can say in the chat. Manini?
I believe that you should acknowledge your Guru, Dev, do Dandavat Pranam to your Guru, and then go back to doing your seva.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So that verse, Patamam tu Guru Pujas Tatas Chaiva Mamachanam. First worship Guru and then only after worship me. So it's related.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the end of the questions? Yeah. Okay, so next slide then. Thank you. Thank you, Didi.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know, I mean, I understand this instruction that we're getting, and it's very nourishing and helpful for us. But if someone isn't yet on the platform of Krishna consciousness, is it the case that they're following of a spiritual, like a pastor or a priest or whoever they're viewing as a spiritual leader is part of paving that way or part of becoming qualified? or
Sorry,
or
could
is
you
it?
just ask the question again? Sorry.
My question is that I'm getting how this all works within the context of Krishna consciousness when we are, when we have the fortune of meeting a bona fide guru or being under anugatya, under the shelter of disciplic succession. But when a jiva is not yet there and they are trying to practice, they are trying to, I don't know, read the Bible or study the Quran, or, they're following a religion.
Mhm.
Is it the case that that type of practice also makes one qualified to eventually come to the platform of truth? Or is it, I just was wondering about that part. Like before someone is
yeah,
Krishna conscious, or before someone comes to this awareness,
right.
how do they progress?
Yeah, and we're going to go on to that. So it's
Okay.
probably good to kind of cover it when it comes to it. Because
Okay.
it's a very, very good question, but we're definitely going to cover that. So
Okay. How do you both think?
it's coming.
Okay.
Thank you, Didi. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so who is SriGuru? The topmost guru is not an ordinary mortal being. So Krishna said, acharya mam vijnaniyam navamanyeta kahichit namacha buddhasuyeta savadeva mayo guru. So, O Uddhava, one should understand fully well the acharya to be as good as myself. Should be at no time should one, out of envy, neglect or disrespect the guru as an ordinary mortal, nor should he be considered to have any faults, because SriGuru has the potency of all the demigods. Okay, so all the scriptures proclaim SriGuru as being as good as Krishna, non-different to Krishna. Saksad Hari Dedvena Samasta Sastre Yuktas Tada Bhavyata Eva Sadvi. We sing this every morning, that the Guru is considered the non-different representative of Shri Hari, Krishna, because he's so dear to the Lord, being his confidential servitor. So in that way, the Guru is considered by Krishna to be as good as himself, and he's Krishna saying, don't consider him as any different to me. Don't think that, I am what's the word, here and Guru is down here. But no, consider that Guru is non-different to Krishna. This is amazing. That also is, don't consider that he has any faults. Like in the 6th verse of Shri Upadeshamrita, Srila Goswami says, just as Vabhava Dinatas Vabhase to Doshaye, that same point Srila Goswami is making, that don't consider that the Guru has any faults in his character or nature, or even that in his bodily form he looks ugly, or he's has some disease, or he's got some problem with his leg or anything like that, he's not walking correctly, or and in his nature he sometimes gets angry, or he appears maybe harsh like this. No, the Guru doesn't have any faults whatsoever. Just like the Ganges, it may appear that the Ganges has foam and bubbles like this, that some impurities have come in the Ganges, but that's not the case. The Ganges is always pure. So it's only the Guru's pastimes that he appears in a certain way to our material vision. But actually, if we have spiritual vision, that means our heart is imbued with love for the Guru, then we will see the Guru as he is. We will even see the Guru's Swarup, his pure spiritual form. So in this way, the Guru, actually, he's not ordinary, and he has the potency of all the demigods. He's the sum total of all the demigods. So we can move on to the next slide, please. So Guru is one who is free from the 4 defects, and I hope you all remember what the 4 defects are. Brahm means illusion, pramad means to make mistakes, vipralipsa means to cheat, and karanabhatava means to have imperfect senses. So the Guru, he doesn't have any of these defects of an ordinary human being. He's on the transcendental platform, he's Siddha, he's perfected, he's completely beyond any material faults, defects like this. And Guru means heavy, but some people might think, oh yes, my Guru is very heavy, he's very heavy with me. But actually, really, it means heavy with transcendental knowledge. And with that transcendental knowledge, he can cut through all your doubts and misconceptions like this. So we can go on to the next slide, please. So the meaning of the word Guru. So the verbal root gri means to invoke or to praise. So Guru is that person who invokes the Supreme Lord on behalf of the disciple. And it can also mean the disciple who can invoke the Guru or worship the Guru first before worshipping Krishna. So we can take it both ways like that, but certainly it's the Guru who invokes Krishna on behalf of the disciple. The only way we can really get the mercy of Krishna is through the Guru. He's a pure via medium. And it's only when we please the Guru by our sincere endeavors in bhakti, our sincere service, then the Guru's heart will melt, and he will actually offer prayers to Krishna on the disciples' behalf. And Krishna will hear those prayers. He won't hear the prayers of the conditioned soul. It's not possible, but he'll hear his pure devotees' prayers. So in that way, we're dependent on his mercy. So Gu means ignorance, darkness, or illusion, and Ru means dispeller of. So Ru means light. So that light, that means the light of transcendental knowledge or bhakti or the spiritual world, like this. So in other words, Gu means one who dispels our ignorance and leads us from the darkness of ignorance or illusion of this world towards the light of bhakti or the spiritual world. So actually we are somehow in this, we've fallen into this material world. And this material world is said to be like darkness. Okay, you may say the sunlight is there. So this world would be in darkness if it wasn't for the sunlight. And really the sunlight is that Guru who shines the light in our hearts and reveals the truth. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he used to always say, Godhead is light and nescience is darkness. So where there is Godhead, there is no nescience, there's no darkness of ignorance. And also the Vedas say, don't remain in darkness, come to the light. So how will we come to light? Only by mercy of Guru. So we can move on to the next slide, please. So by independently reading and studying the scriptures, one can certainly derive gyan, knowledge, but not vigyan, realization. So Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he would always say that this knowledge is under lock and key, and very powerful lock and key. Means it's this knowledge is of the scriptures is stored away, and it's locked away. So we don't have access actually, but someone will say, yes, but I'm reading the scriptures every day. But Gurudev would always say that it's not by reading alone that we can get real understanding or vigyan, realization of the scriptures. One who is not so qualified, he won't be able to extract the essence of the scriptures. So it said, Yaha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavarastane. So Mahaprabhu said, if you want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, if you want to understand the scriptures, then you must approach the self-realized Vaishnav and hear from him. So it's only under the guidance of Guru can we get Vigyan, realization. That Sadguru, that realized Guru, will give that realization in the heart when he's pleased with that disciple. So we can go on to next slide. So we are blind to seeing God. Everywhere we look, whichever objects we see, how do we see them? We see them, oh, there's some kind of object for our sense gratification or enjoyment. So this is the conditioned soul, see, like this. So the Guru, he turns our minds and hearts towards the beauty of Krishna so that we only become attracted to him. And nothing else in this world will attract us. So Ampina Tamarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksho Umlitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We say this before we begin any our speaking, if we're sharing this knowledge, if we're reading the scriptures or giving class like this, always say this prayer. That, oh Gurudev, you are so merciful, and I offer my humble, most respectful obeisances unto you, and I pray from the core of my heart that with the torchlight of divine knowledge, you open my eyes that have been blinded by the darkness of ignorance. So this is how Guru will open our eyes. He will actually imbue in our heart this service mood, because at the moment we have a service mood towards Maya, at least I do. We may have a service mood towards Maya, the illusory material energy, towards the objects of our sense perception, sense gratification. So we want, like I said, we want to enjoy in this world, and that enjoying propensity has been with us since time immemorial, time without beginning. And we've carried that enjoying propensity life after life in all species of life, in the heavenly planets, in the lower planets, in the middle planetary system, this planet. And we haven't given it up. So difficult to give it up. But the Guru, he will imbue in our hearts this service mood towards Krishna. So in this way, he will open our eyes with this Dibya Gyan, this divine transcendental knowledge, that the understanding of who we are, to relieve us from Shrut Brahm, which is illusion of our identity, illusion of who we are, Jiva Shrut Brahm. So, and he will enlighten us as to the Swarup of ourselves, our real transcendental spiritual form, and the Swarup of Krishna. So in this way, he will actually attract our mind and hearts and senses in every way towards Radha and Krishna. So like this, we can move on to the next slide. Oh, it's questions. Okay, it's Gunamaididi. It's their turn. We can go back. Yeah, that's good. If we go back to Krishna. So this was the first slide. Just have a look and see what you can remember from that. Topmost Guru is not an ordinary mortal being. He's as good as myself, Krishna says. No faults. Okay, next slide. Okay, the qualities of Guru is free from the 4 defects. Guru means heavy, transcendental knowledge. Next slide. The meaning of the word Guru means greed, to invoke, or to praise. Guru invokes the Supreme Lord on our behalf. Guru means ignorance. Guru means light, or Guru means darkness, I should say, which means ignorance and illusion, and Guru means light. Light of bhakti, or the spiritual world. And okay, Guru is one who leads one from darkness to light. We can go on. And by independently reading, studying the scriptures, we can derive gyan, but not vigyan, realization. Okay, next. So this beautiful prayer, what Gurudev is giving us. Okay. Yes. Okay. Questions.
Okay. Krishna Priya, if we could go to the other view and start screen sharing, then there we go. Perfect. So the first question is, how should one consider SriGuru or the acharya, and what is the meaning of acharya? And if you'd like to answer, you can just raise your hand. Okay. All right. Would anybody like to answer that question? How should one consider SriGuru or the acharya? Maribel?
You should consider the Guru or Acharya as Krishna, because Krishna says that you should treat the Guru as myself. Well, not myself, as his self.
As good as
myself. Well, his self, Krishna.
Yes, that's very good. Very good. Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Great. And I guess, what is the meaning of acharya would be the other part.
There's also one more part to that, that the guru shouldn't be considered to have any faults, that he should be considered as perfect. So, yeah. And what was the next question? Sorry.
What is the meaning of acharya? Manini?
Actually, yeah.
An acharya is a spiritual master who basically walks the talk. You know, they are like a living demonstration of what they are teaching. That's my understanding of that.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah. Very well done. That's good.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, what are some of the qualities of SriGuru, and what is the meaning of the word guru? Shamali?
Thank you. I saw someone else had raised their hand. I didn't,
Go-
but
go
I'll answer it. I'll answer a portion of the question. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Sure. The question was, what are some of the qualities of SriGuru, and what is the meaning of the word guru?
Qualities of Guru. Well, the Guru is that which takes us from darkness to light, that which imbues us with the light of bhakti, takes us away from ignorance. And the Guru, as we've described, he's considered non-different from Krishna and perfect. So he has the ability to give us vigyan, or realized knowledge, and impart bhakti into our heart and take away all that keeps us in illusion. So I'll leave it there, yes, unless there's something.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. And what does it mean that the guru
But there was
opens
also
the other part? Okay.
what's the name? No, I'm talking about who was someone else was going to answer as well. I don't know if
I
you
was-
Find out.
I was gonna answer. I was gonna say that the guru is heavy with transcendental knowledge.
Yes,
Right.
yes, that's right. That's correct. Very good.
And
Yeah.
also free from the 4 defects.
Yes, correct. Yeah, very good. Which are the 4 defects? Are
Illusion, error, cheating, and imperfection of senses.
yes, imperfect senses. Yeah, good. Okay, great.
Imperfect senses.
Yeah.
Karna Tattva, right?
Yeah.
Karna.
So, very good.
I need
You're a
to
very
get this on-
quick learner.
I'm just trying to get it.
No, it's good. You're doing so well. Everyone, no one's got wrong answers so far. It's good. Yeah.
So what does it mean that the guru opens our eyes? And if you'd like to answer, just raise your hand. Manini?
That's that Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Takshura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, that they bring this torchlight, or sometimes it's called the salve of knowledge, to open our eyes. Is that to bring us into Vigyan, or realization of truth, not just like an intellectual understanding, but
Yeah.
into our heart. A heart
Yeah, because by
realization.
reading the scriptures alone, if we just read on our own without being under the guidance of Guru, we might get some knowledge. And then again, we might even misunderstand what we're reading. But it's Guru who opens our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, like you said. And he enlightens us, gives us realization. Yeah. Do you want to say
Oh,
something?
and I was just going to add one thing. There's a link in the chat as well. So if people have other questions that we haven't covered, you can click the link and ask, and then we'll cover those at the end if we have time.
Yeah, great. So is that it for the questions there?
Mukunda Prabhu?
Yeah, I was going to make a very nice point that actually we recited so much the Om Jnana Timanandasha Gyan Anjan. So Gyan Anjan means that Sakala actually is an Ayurvedic tool that's used when they used to do eye operations to keep your eye open. So the Guru, by his kripa, even sometimes the jiva's unwilling, he will by Gyan open the jiva's eyes so they can perceive the truth. But ultimately, the anjan that Guru provides, especially in the Vaishnav, Rasik, Bhavuk Vaishnav, is Premanjan. So by Premanjan, Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, one can actually see not only the truth, but he can see the truth as the Swarup of Sri Radha and Krishna. So that anjan is very, very rare. Gyan anjan, you may find even in Gyanis. They can differentiate between the body and the soul. But that special anjan, which not only is full of Gyan, but is also full of Ras, is also full of Prem, that is given by Vaishnav Guru. So that is a very special anjan applied to the eyes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Very well said. Very nice. Yeah, so that Premanjana. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Valochanena. Like this verse. Very, very nice. Okay, so it's Guru who actually gives us that prema so that we can see. Otherwise, we have cataracts on our eyes. Our eyes are closed to Radha and Krishna, to see them in their true form, to see their Satchitananda Vigraha, the true transcendental form. But it's the Guru who imbues that love of God, that Krishna Prema within our heart, so that we can see. Because only we cannot possibly see Radha and Krishna unless we have that Prema, and that Prema comes from Guru. Okay, thank you so much, Rankana. All right, so is that the end of the questions? I can't remember.
Yes,
Ready?
it is. Yes.
Yeah, okay, we can go on. Thank you. Okay, I will. Next. Okay. All right, so false gurus, because we may think, yes, I want a guru, and you know, it's become very fashionable to have a guru, like in the days of the Beatles, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and all the those Beatles, they had gurus, isn't it? Maharishi, I think, was one of them. I can't remember the different gurus, but of course, they came to Sadhguru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, so they were very fortunate. But not everyone is so fortunate, because there are many false or cheating gurus out there who want to exploit a vulnerable or naive spiritual seekers, either financially, emotionally, or even sexually. So it may be that there's a certain guru who he's attracting so many followers, hundreds and thousands of followers. Why? Because he's got so much charisma. You know, if someone's got a lot of charisma, it's very, very attractive. We see, like on the TV, like TV presenters, they have so much charisma. You know, they're, I suppose, certain type of guru, but not, of course. They're not pretending to be a spiritual guru. But anyway, we see many pretenders who they can speak such eloquent language, and they can recite even many verses from the scriptures. They could tell their meanings, but you know, they're not realized. You know, they can perform miracles. They can produce gold from their hands or from anywhere, or they can perform all kinds of miracles. But can they give Krishna Prema? No, they cannot. They're not realized. They're full of material desires, and they want to exploit their disciples. So we can move on to the next slide. So, Guru Bhava Shanti Shishya Vita Pararaka Dulabha Sadguru Devi Shishya Shanta Paharaka. So Lord Shiva told Parvati, there are many gurus who want to take advantage of their disciples and plunder them. They exploit their disciples and use them to amass wealth. In other words, they're like a kangaroo. However, a guru can remove the miseries of his disciples is very rare. So, like I was saying, many gurus are like kangaroos. Kangaroos have big pockets. Uday would always say like this. What are those big pockets for? They're to collect lots of money. And they tell their disciples, yes, I can give you a very special mantra. I can give you a secret mantra, but you will have to give me so many dollars for this mantra. Hundreds, maybe I don't know, thousands of dollars, whatever it is. Yeah, so they exploit their disciples like this. So it said, Guru Nasha Svat, Svajano Nasha Shat, that don't become a guru, don't even try to become a guru if you cannot deliver your disciples from the path of repeated birth and death. So if one is qualified, then he is what's known as a self-effulgent guru, that by his self-effulgent, by his prema, his love for God, he will be effulgent, naturally attractive to everyone, and many people will be drawn to him because of his pure love that's emanating from him. But don't be fooled that if a certain guru, he has so much charisma, he has so much gyan, knowledge, he seems to be able to speak very nicely and all these things, that he's a true guru. No, it may not be so. So we have to examine the guru. So next slide. So a bogus guru cannot give Krishna to the Krsna Prema to the disciple, and what will happen is the disciple will become very weak and become attracted to material happiness, and that disciple will be fascinated by the temptations of women and money and all these allurements in the material world. He'll want to again enjoy sense gratification. So what is the minimum qualification for a guru? The minimum qualification is Vacho Vegam Anasho Kroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udapasta Vegam Etam Vegam Yovisha Heta Deva Savam Prativim Sashishat. Means that that Jagat Guru, the guru who's qualified to be guru of the whole world, such a Sat Guru, will definitely be in control of his speech, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urge of the tongue, belly, and genitals. Definitely, these 6 urges will be under his full control. In fact, he won't even have to try to control. We might be desperately trying to control our mind and senses like this, but that guru is automatically, naturally in control. So it's recommended that the prospective disciple should stay with the guru for 1 year, actually, should carefully examine his character, his qualities, his activities, to determine if he's qualified. And also the guru will allow the disciple to stay with him in the ashram and also examine him to make sure that he is sincere, that he's really a genuine disciple who's wanting to really attain what the gurus come to give, and not just oh, you know, I want position, or I want to be famous, I want the facilities that the guru can give, you know, money and all these things. No. So this goes hand in hand, that the guru should examine the disciple should examine the guru. It's said for 1 year. Of course, we generally don't see that these days, but at least, you know, for some time, you know, attend that guru's classes and question him, inquire from him, like that. So we can go on to the next slide. Okay, Tasmad gu prapajeta jignashu she uttama shabde parachanishnatam brahmana passamashrayam. So this verse would be recited by our Gurudev over and over again. It's very dear verse to our Gurudev. Liked it very much. Why? Because it explains the qualifications of the Guru. So tasmat, therefore, because we do not have peace or happiness in this material world, a person who seriously desires the ultimate spiritual perfection must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him. The qualifications of the Sadhguru is that he has realized the Vedic scriptures, Shabda Brahma, and the supreme absolute truth, Parabrahman, and the mundane world holds no charm for him whatsoever. So tasmat means therefore. Guru means a guru. Prapajeta, one should take shelter of such a guru. And do what? Jignashu means inquire from him. Shre Uttama, about what? About the highest benefit. And highest benefit where? What is the highest good for us as fallen jeeves, as bada jeeves, conditioned souls in this world who are suffering the threefold miseries. I told that before, adibhotic, adidaivik, adhyatmic, adibhotic, and adidaivik. So miseries pertaining to to one's body and mind, other living entities, and natural causes. So if we want to become free from this suffering that we've experienced life after life, birth after birth, we experience so much pain and suffering, then what must we do? If one's realized that, oh, actually, I've tried to enjoy in this material world, and I've tried to experience all kinds of sense gratification. I've chewed the chewed, as Prahlad Maharaj would say, chewing and trying to extract as much gratification from all the sense objects in this world as possible. But then I realized actually there's no happiness in this world, really. And anyway, I can't take anything with me at the time of death. All that I'm endeavoring for, I'm working so hard in this world, and I'm collecting so much money and possessions and material facilities. But what can I take with me when I die? Zero, nothing. So once one realizes that, he will approach a guru who has these three qualifications. And what are the three qualifications? First of all, shabde. So tasmat ku prabhajeta jignashu shri uttama. Shabde. What does that mean? Shabde nishta and nishnatam. Sorry. So shabde nishnatam means that he's has the understanding of all the scriptures, that he's not just got knowledge of the scriptures, not only knowledge, but he has realization of the conclusions of all the scriptures. So if a disciple has any doubt and he approaches his guru, it's not that guru will say, oh, actually, I'm not quite sure of the answer, but can you come back to me on that one? Maybe you email me and I'll tell you in a few months or whatever, like this. No. But the guru, if the disciple has any doubt, he will easily be able to rule it out. Madhav Maharaj would always say. So the guru, he can immediately quote from Shastra and give evidence of what that disciple is inquiring about, or that doubt he has, like this, he can completely enlighten the disciple. Then Shabde Nishnatam, next comes Pare Nishnatam, means that he is Nishnatam, fixed in the absolute truth, Parabrahma. So, or Krishna, you can say. What does that mean? That means he has realization in the absolute truth. That means he's seeing Radha and Krishna every moment. He's absorbed in Asta Kalya Lila, Bhajan, Smaran. It said, Seva Sadhaka Rupena, Siddha Rupena Chatrahi. That externally, with his sadhak roop, his body in this world, he's engaging in all the limbs of bhakti, but especially he's engaging with his body in this direct service of Radha and Krishna. Externally and internally in his Siddhasrup. So Siddhasrup means his internally conceived body. So like this, the Guru, he's in one sense, he has one foot in this world, in the material world, and one foot in the spiritual world. And he's directly serving Radha and Krishna all the time, 24 hours a day, without break, continually. So this is Parinishnatam. And Brahmanopas Samashrayam means that he's completely free from all types of desires. He doesn't have any material desires at all. He doesn't desire wealth. He doesn't desire prestige. He doesn't want name and fame. He doesn't want material facilities, any of these things. So the material world holds no charm for him whatsoever. He's not attracted at all. He only has eyes for Radha and Krishna. He's only attracted purely to Radha and Krishna and serving them. So, as I was saying, Brahmanopasamashrayam. So he doesn't desire anything at all from his disciples. So if there's a guru, and almost like immediately the guru says, oh yes, give X amount of money for this and give so much money for that, and like this, then we know he's not a real, genuine guru. If that guru has many followers, disciples, and lots of very nice lady disciples, and he's looking like he's very interested in them and he likes to associate with them in a mundane way, then he's not real guru. So like this. Now this Tasma Guru Prapajita, there's two external symptoms and one internal symptom. So you may be able to guess what is the internal symptom, what is the external symptom. The external symptoms are maybe you can see to some degree. That is, you can see Shabde Nishnatam, which means that he's realized the conclusions of all the scriptures, and you can see if he's really materially detached. Actually, you can see that, well, at least to some extent, you can see these things, but you may not be able to see if he's Pare Nishnatam, which means he's realized Radha and Krishna completely and serving them continually. How is it possible to see that? Not so easy. So what can we do? Then you may say, okay, I found a guru, and he seems to be very qualified. He seems to have know the scriptures very well, realize the scriptures. He seems to be materially detached. But if he doesn't have this primary symptom, then he's not a realized soul. He's not a Sadhguru. And he cannot give you Krishna Prema. So then someone may say, well, how will I know that? How will I understand that? There's different ways to understand. One is the other pure Vaishnavas can say, yes, definitely, this is a pure Vaishnava. Like our Gurudev pointed out, certain pure Vaishnavas, Srila Bhakti Vakshakshila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, like this, he pointed them out. And they pointed out that our Gurudev was also pure Vaishnava. Also, we may not be able to understand from a pure Vaishnava, but if we cry to Krishna, we really cry to Lord Nityananda, who's a Kanda Guru Tattva, the complete Guru Tattva, and say, please, please, send me pure Guru, and may I recognize that pure Guru. And with all sincerity, one calls out, cries, prays. Then Krishna can send pure Guru, and one, by the mercy of Krishna, or even by the mercy of that Guru, can recognize that he is the real, genuine Guru, like that. So we can go on to the next slide. Okay. So the 3 levels of Gurus or Vaishnavas. Kanishta Adhikari Vaishnava is a neophyte devotee. It's called Prakrita Bhakta, materialistic devotee. Madhyam Adhikari Vaishnava is an intermediate devotee. And Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava or Mahabhagavat Vaishnava. So these 3 levels of Vaishnavas we may have heard of. A true Guru is a Vaishnava who's of the highest level. So I said before, only a Guru who possesses Krishna Prema can give it. A Guru who has not attained Krishna Prema cannot bestow it upon his disciple. So, so it's recommended that, I said before, Guru na shashat svajano na shashat. One shouldn't even really try to become a Guru unless he's on that highest platform. But there are Kanishta Adhikari Gurus and Madhyama Adhikari Gurus. So how can we understand who is who and what is what? First of all, the Uttama Adhikari Guru, actually, he comes down to the level of Madhyama Adhikari. Why? Because as Uttama Adhikari, he looks around and he thinks that everyone's already liberated. There's no need to liberate anyone. Everyone's already perfectly situated. And like this, he has prema and he sees everyone has prema like this. But in that position, how can he really help his disciples? So he comes down to the level of Madhyama Adhikari Vaishnava Guru, where they can, the Madhyama Adhikari will see Krishna, he will see the jivas in this world, he will see where they're at, you know, he will see also those who are envious and those who are very offensive, and he will avoid them like this. And he will see that those who have a love like he has for Krishna, he will see other Vaishnavas. So this is the Uttama Adhikari who will come down to the Madhyama Adhikari platform. And therefore, from that platform, he can help his disciples. So now, really, it's best to to find an Uttama Adhikari guru who has come down to the Madhyama Adhikari platform, but still, okay, if that's not possible, then Madhyama Adhikari guru's okay. And he can certainly guide one. So, what was I going to say? Actually, you know, you may think, well, how can I recognize guru? And how can I search and find guru myself? But Gurudev said to me when I first met him, I asked this very question. Oh, good. I said, oh, he wasn't my guru at that time. I said, oh, Maharaj. I said, how can I recognize who is my guru? Because we've heard Shri Guru Charana Padma in this beautiful song that what does it say? Chakudano dilaye jami jami prabhu say, that your guru is your guru birth after birth. So I was thinking, oh, then, you know, I should be able to recognize my guru like this, but I haven't recognized him in 5 years. It took me 5 years. I was living in the temple and I couldn't find guru. So then Gurudev, he said to me, oh, you cannot directly go and search and find guru yourself, but he will come directly to you. He will come knocking on your door. So like this, I was like, wow. And then I thought, oh, maybe you're my guru. So like this, guru will come directly to that sincere devotee and come knocking on his door. It means will come directly to him. So and if I was mentioning before about Kanishta Adhikari Vaishnava Guru, then maybe if one has such a guru, then you may start to see some faults in that guru and see some loopholes, and then he may feel very dissatisfied. And especially if that guru falls down, then it will give a lot of grievance to the disciple. So that's why, next slide, please, sorry. So one should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. This is what Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada says. A neophyte Vaishnava or Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, disciples should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. So this is what Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada says in his purport to the 5th sloka of Shri Upadeshamrita. So, yeah, I think that speaks for itself, and said something about that. So we can move on to the next slide. Okay. So, Bhaktistu Bhagavat Bhakta Sangena Parajayate Satsanga Paprite Pambi Sukhita Puvasanchitai. So one may ask the question that how can I attain a guru, especially how can I attain a topmost guru? So it said Bhakti is awakened by the association of pure devotees. The jiva obtains the association of Sudha Bhaktas by the accumulated effect of spiritually pious activities, which means bhakti sukriti, performed over many lifetimes. So here, this, like I said, this sukriti means bhakti sukriti, which is the living entity who's been in this world since time immemorial in many species of life, and finally has attained the human platform. Then different species of life, or in the human form of life especially, he may have come across holy places, he may have come across holy rivers, temples, or Tulsi, anything, Tadiya, anything that's related to Krishna, sadhus, Vaishnavas. He may have come across Shastra, the scriptures. He may have come into contact with any or all of this on a very special titi, an auspicious titi, which means a special occasion like Janmashtami or Radhastami or Nrsimha Chaturdasi, these festival days that we celebrate throughout the year. So if so, he will have collected Bhakti Sukriti. And over maybe many lifetimes, he's collecting that Sukriti. And then he will somehow, by chance, it seems, come across a pure devotee. And this will lead him to have initial shraddha, initial faith, whereupon he gets the association of such devotees a second time. So first there's little shraddha, little faith, and then he's very attracted. Next time he comes into association and he takes very seriously their instructions. So this is only by Bhakti Sukriti that one can attain such a pure guru. This is explained. And it said, Bhava bhava go brahmato yade janashita yachuta satsang samagamo. So it means that the jiva has been wandering through many species of life, and when the time for their release is approaching, at that time they attain sadhu sangha. So we can understand, if we've come into the association of a pure Vaishnava, it means the time for release, liberation from this samsara cycle of birth and death for many, many hundreds of thousands, millions of lives is coming to an end. And our spiritual life is beginning. Okay, next slide. Oh, questions. Okay, so any questions on this topic? Kunamai Didi.
All right, Krishna Priya, if we could please go off screen
Oh, yeah,
share.
just go back, just refresh. Yeah.
Oh, go back first, I guess. Okay.
Did you want to briefly talk about?
Okay, next, yeah, and just go on to the next one. Yeah, next. Yes, next. Yes, qualification of Sadhguru, and then the 3 levels of gurus. Kanishta, Madhyama, Nuttamadikari gurus. And who can give Krishna Prema, explains. Next. Okay. Uttama Adhikari can give Krishna Prema. Okay. So how can one attain a guru? After accumulation of many, many lives of Bhakti Sukriti. Okay, we can go to the answers. Questions and answers. Kunadadi.
All right. Okay. So the first question is, what is the meaning of false guru? And if you'd like to answer, just raise your hand, please. So who would like to explain what a false guru is? Maribel, please.
So I can't remember who it was that said it, but I remember the analogy of a kangaroo, like the animal with the big pocket and its front. Like people, like humans here on Earth, have very big pockets ready for money. And then, yeah, like Charu mentioned, TV personalities like Gokwan, or I don't know, that's someone who is after money, power, sex, but they don't have true prema. So they could be like a neophyte or extreme neophyte devotee.
Thank you. Great.
Very good, Maribel. Very nice.
The next question. What does Sanatan Goswami recommend to do in order to understand who is Guru? So I think we covered that briefly. So the question again, what does Sanatan Goswami recommend to do in order to understand who is Guru? Manini, please.
He recommends that we observe, and we spend some time observing prospective Guru for up to a year, or at least a year, and examine his character, his qualities, and see what he's actually about. See if he's like a Sadhguru, not a sad guru.
Excellent, thank you. What qualification does one need in order to obtain the association of a pure Vaishnava? So again, what qualification does one need in order to obtain the association of a pure Vaishnava? Manini.
I think we need to have sincerity and greed, desire, for love of God, or to become realized. I'm not sure if that's the answer, but
thank you. It's a bit of it's the question's worded a little awkwardly, but Acharya, if you want to explain.
Okay, so remember that verse, Bhaktistu Bhagavat Bhakata Sangena Parjayate Sangha Papate Pumpi Sukito Pravasanchitai. So it means that only by if one has accumulated many lifetimes of bhakti sukriti, coming into contact with tadiya, those in relation to Krishna, it could be Vaishnavas, scriptures, temples, etc. Then after so much collection of sukriti, then one can attain Guru. Pure Guru.
Or association of Vaishnavas.
Sorry?
Oh,
Attain the association of Vaishnavas, yeah.
Great. Okay, and that's all the questions I have for now. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, Mukunda Prabhu.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something about the last part in terms of the adhikar of Guru. For most aspiring disciples, when they first come, you'll not be able to observe the inner nature of Guru. So Rupa Goswami Pad has given that what you can observe will be the introduction to the quality of Guru. Because in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the section on Sadhana, he says, who has uttam adhikar to practice bhakti. Sastra yukti suni punya drida sharayanra uttam adhikara se tare sangsar. So he says that person who is sastra yukti means he knows sastra, he understands the meaning of sastra, and because of that, dridha shraddha yanra, his faith is her faith is very strong. Uttamadhikari say, he has or she has uttamadhikar in eligibility to practice bhakti. Say tariye sangsara, therefore, they may also help someone to become free from the cycle of samsara. But then in the Upadesha Amritam, he described, well, how will I know who that is? Then he says, oh, vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivam vegam, udarvasta vegam. You'll at least see this person has the ability to control the urges of the material world. And that'll give you a physical indication this person is Guru, and also that their sastra yukti sunipunya and their faith is fixed will be another example. Now, as your own bhajan life grows, then you'll gradually be able to perceive, and this is why Sanatan Goswami Pad recommended this mutual pariksha, means examination. You'll be able to start to observe, oh, my Gurudev's mood is like this. my Gurudev's Harikatha giving indication of his mood is like this. And then as your own bhajan matures, the influence of that comes in you, then some realization, oh, what is my Gurudev's Siddha Roop, etc., that'll come. But beginning those basic things is my Guru, as Charu Didi mentioned, can he remove or she remove all doubts, everything? Are they themselves practicing? And the results showing that they're Vacho Vegam, Manasakura Vegam, Jivam Vegam, Uttarapasta Vegam, etc. Like this. So in the beginning, you'll not be able to tell how Guru Dev is Rasik, etc., unless you also, from so many previous impressions, Purva Sukriti, that your impressions are very deep, and therefore very quickly you may recognize, oh, this Guru Dev, he's high class of Rasik Vaishnava, etc. In the beginning, though, in general, they'll only see those external features.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, should we move on to the next slide?
Yes, one moment, please.
Okay, so tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. Okay, what happened? Oh, is that right? Is that the next slide? Oh, I don't know where we are. I thought the next slide was tadvidi. The next slide, I think the next slide should be tadvidi.
Tadvidi. Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
Okay. So this is the
How to approach Guru. It's one hat. That's it. How to approach Guru.
Okay.
Is that right? Go back one slide. Just want to make sure. Oh, maybe we didn't. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay.
Is there
questions? Then one after that. Yeah, this is correct. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. So how should we approach Guru? Said in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, by offering him frustrated obeisances, inquiring from him submissively, and by rendering service unto him. The self-realized souls can enlighten you because they have seen the truth. So in this verse, it's explained there's 3 ways to approach a guru. First of all, we shouldn't just approach Guru and say, hey, Gurudev, here I am. But no, we should approach in a very humble mood and offer him dandavat pranams. For a man, that will be fully prostrated. And for a lady, it will be like you see in this picture. So when we're offering pranam, we say, oh, my Gurudev, I'm offering pranam to you. So real pranam isn't just externally getting down on the floor, paying our obeisances or saying, Gurudev, I'm offering my pranam to you. No, but pranam means I'm offering my very self to you. I'm offering my whole self and everything that I possess to you. So actually it means really I'm giving up my false ego and I'm humbly submitting myself to your lotus feet. That's what it really means. In other words, it means I'm surrendering to you. So next comes inquire from him submissively and render service to him. But actually, first of all, before we inquire, we should render service. Why? Because by rendering service, according to the Guru's desires, according to what pleases him, then, we may bring him water, bring him prasadam, we may massage his feet. There's so many different types of services, directly, indirectly. the guru may say, do bhajan, chant and remember, like this. So by doing such services, then we please him. And by pleasing him, we can approach him with questions. So what kind of questions? Not that we say, you know, hey Gurudev, you said this the other day, and I read something in Srimad Bhagavatam that said something else, so I don't know what you're talking about. It's not that we challenge the guru, but we submissively inquire. So you know, in a very humble mood, because actually the guru has seen the truth. We haven't seen the truth. We're not realized, but he is realized. He whatever's in scripture, he's understanding the conclusions of the scriptures. He's understanding the very essence. He's understanding everything that the previous acharyas have said, and he can certainly enlighten you. So, and when such a humble, submissive disciple has rendered service and inquires, then that answer can actually go very deep. It can even go into the heart as realized knowledge. And then we can also see the truth like that. So like this, we approach Guru, that we feel ourselves most unqualified. Not that we think, oh, yes, I know so many verses and slokas and I know the meanings. No, we feel ourselves very unqualified, that I don't know anything. I don't know anything, Gurudev. Please enlighten me, like this. So we can go to the next one. So next is, so what is higher than the worship of Krishna is the worship and service of Guru. Radhanam sarvesham Vishnu radhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarjanam. Lord Shiva told Parvati, although the Vedas recommend the worship of the demigods, the worship of Vishnu or Krishna is topmost. Still higher than the worship of Krishna is the worship to Tadiya, of the Vaishnavas, and so on. Actually, the Vedas are divided into three sections, three divisions. That is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. So that means, you know, Karma Kanda, that the Vedas prescribe fruitive activities for those who have that adhikar, that type of qualification, that they have so many material desires and they want the desires fulfilled, but at the same time they want to worship gods, or you know that, or they want to worship the demigods to fulfill their material desires. So that provision is given. And then there's Jnana Kanda. Of course, Gyan means knowledge. So for the Gyanis, those who speculate about the absolute truth, but it's given in the Vedas. So much knowledge is there. And, you know, some people take that knowledge and they want to aspire for liberation like that. And Upasana Kanda means knowledge regarding the worship of the Lord. So, so Lord Shiva was telling Parvati after she asked the question, well, actually, you know, what is the highest worship? And Lord Shiva said, well, in the Vedas, it recommends Karma Kanda, worship of the demigods for some material reward. But actually higher than that is worship of Vishnu or Krishna. That's considered to be very high, but that actually there's something even more high than worship of Krishna. And then Parvati, she became very interested. Oh, really, my lord? What could be higher than worship of Krishna? I can't even imagine. And then Lord Shiva said, worship or service of the Vaishnava. So, like this, Lord Shiva explained that this is the highest. Bhakti yata haro mesti tadvan nishta guru yadi mamasti tena satjena svam darshayatu me hari. If my devotion to my guru is even stronger than my devotion for Shri Krishna, then may this fact cause Shri Krishna to reveal himself to me. Beautiful verse. So especially it said, this is recommended for beginners, those who are beginning on a spiritual path, that yes, the guru is our everything. And even those who are more advanced, they'll say, oh, my Gurudev is my true guide, and my life is all my everything. So like this, it may seem that the disciple has even more faith or devotion in Guru than in Krishna. And that's okay, that's good, because that can even cause Krishna to reveal himself to that disciple. So we can go on. Krishna Prema, thank you. Okay. So Shri Guru is our guide. So words. Nadeyam ajam sulabam sudulabam plavam sukalpam gukana daram mayanu kulena nabesveritam pumam bhavabdim natares atmaha. So while the human body through which one can attain the ultimate benefit of life is obtained automatically in due course, it is a rare facility that may be likened to a dependable boat. The Guru is the captain or navigator, and I, Shri Krishna, in the form of his instructions in Shastra, am the favorable winds that propel it on its course. Considering this, one who does not use this human life to cross the ocean of repeated birth and death is verily the killer of his own soul. So, as long as we are entrapped in this material world, this world of illusion, our mind and intelligence are covered and we lack clarity. And without clarity, we are likely to slip and fall on this path of bhakti. But the Guru, he personally takes responsibility for the disciples' progress, and he regularly offers direct guidance to that disciple. Why? So that that disciple will remain on course. So the Guru is like a compass, because if we're out there in the world, you know, it's like being out in the ocean, in the middle of an ocean, and what is there in the ocean? There's big waves, like big obstacles coming and our way. We may have so many material desires that are staring us in the face and then luring us, and we're like, oh, what to do? Or, you know, there may be sharks, big timingula fish coming, like our previous activities, the reactions are coming, and we're thinking, oh, what to do, like this. But the Guru, he will guide that disciple, and like this, what's this called? The ship?
The wheel?
The wheel, okay. Sorry, fasting today. So yeah, the wheel of the ship. The helm, that's it, the helm, thank you. So the helm, he's the helmsman, the captain, who's guiding the boat on course. And what is the boat? That is the body. That's we have these material bodies. So the Guru is saying, but actually come on my boat. meaning, you know, come into, he's inviting us to come into his realm, which is actually Vrindavan, Braj, the spiritual realm, and give up our false conceptions, give up all our material desires, and stay under the shelter of his cooling lotus feet. So, so like this, the Guru is the guide. Okay, so we can go on to the next. Okay, so the essence of the scriptures are revealed to one who has absolute faith in SriGuru. Yasha Devi Parabhakti Yata Devi Tata Guru Taishati Gaditi Yata Pakashanti Mahatmana. All the confidential meanings of the scriptures are revealed only in the heart of that great soul who has the same unflinching faith and transcendental devotion for the Guru as for the Supreme Lord. So, the Guru, he's means a pure Guru, that means Sadhguru. He's giving shelter to the disciple, and he's giving so much guidance, giving instructions, and the disciple is taking those instructions and following his guidance with unflinching faith that my Guru is as good as God. My Guru is non-different to God, and he has so much devotion to that Guru. He has Guru Nishta. So in this way, he has the same faith in Guru as in God, as in Krishna, and by such faith, then all the imports to the scriptures are revealed in that disciple's heart. So it's explained that there was a disciple of Sankaracharya, one history, and his name was Giri, and he used to do all kinds of menial service for his Guru, like washing his Guru's clothes, cooking for him, cleaning, all these things. And one time he was washing his Guru's clothes, but his Sankaracharya, he was about to give class. And he was looking around for this disciple, Giri, and he's thinking, oh, where is my disciple? Giri is not here. So then all the other disciples, they were saying to their Guru, oh, why aren't you speaking, Guru Maharaj? Please, please, go on speaking. We would like to hear you speak. But he said, no, I cannot speak because Giri is not here. Then they said, Giri, what? That foolish disciple? I mean, he doesn't know anything. He won't be able to really understand and be able to grasp what you're speaking anyway. I think it's okay, you can speak. Then he said, no. He said, no, I must wait. So then he waited. His disciple, Giri, was washing his clothes and there was a storm. He was delayed. So then finally he came and he paid his pranams to his Guru. And then his Guru said, oh, Giri, stand up and speak. You should recite the Vedanta Sutra, slokas of the Vedanta Sutra. So just like that, this Giri, he started reciting like the first slok, second slok, different slokas of the Vedanta Sutra and explaining their meaning in depth. And this Sankaracharya, he was so pleased, but all the other disciples, they were like, what? How is he able to speak so eloquently? Even we cannot speak like that. So then it was understood that actually Sankaracharya, he blessed him, that all the Vedas can manifest in his heart. So like this, that's just by this menial service. You don't have to be like a great scholar or anything, you know, but just by performing sincere service to the Guru, then the Guru can be pleased and bless you, and all the imports of the Vedas can manifest in your heart like that. So next slide. Okay. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langate garim yakripa tamaham bande shigurum dinataranam. So this means that I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, the deliverer of all fallen souls, whose mercy turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. So what does that mean? That Gurudev would say that often that about himself in all humility, I don't have any qualification. I didn't even have proper material education. You know, I didn't study Sanskrit or English or anything, you know, but actually whatever I have is being given to me by my Guru. So, and you know, Gurudev would say, I'm not an eloquent speaker by any means, but you see that I'm giving discourses throughout the world. Why? How? Only by the mercy of my Guru and Vaishnavas. So Gurudev once said, he said, oh, do you know our Tirtha Maharaj? Our Tirtha Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj has left this world now. But when he came to the mat, the temple, a very young boy, and he used to do all kinds of menial service. He just went, before he came, he went to, like we call infant school, just primary school, I should say. And then he came to the mat, and he didn't have any proper schooling after that. So who was his teacher? Really, it was Gurudev, and his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. So, but you see that he became so learned that he knew so many slokas. He could recite so many verses. He would learn, I mean, he used to say that he would learn like 10 or 20 or 50 verses a day, and only by the mercy of his gurus. So it's possible that the dumb can speak eloquently, and the lame can cross mountains. What does it mean? That that, like I was saying before, there may be so many mountain-like obstacles, and we are lame. How can we walk on this spiritual path when we're facing so many obstacles? But the Guru, he can make the lame walk, and what's the word? Walk very perfectly on this path of sadhana bhakti, and we can overcome all obstacles, whether big or small, by his mercy. So we can go on to the next. Okay, so Bayam Dvitiya Banaveshita Shad Ishat Apatesha Viparyo Smriti Tamaya Toba Abate Tam Bhaktyaki Yesham Gudeva Tatama. So Guru is one's life and soul. Fear arises when the living being who has turned away from the Supreme Lord becomes absorbed in material life and falsely perceives things to be separate from the Supreme Lord. In this condition, he forgets his true identity and falsely thinks he is the body. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the illusory potency known as Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should worship the Supreme Lord with one pointed conviction under the guidance of a bona fide Guru, whom he should accept as his worshipful deity and his very life and soul. So I'll just explain this very briefly because we need to move on. What are the causes of fear? We are all in fear. Everyone in every species of life, you see, fear is very prominent. We're afraid of other people attacking us, or disease like this coronavirus and all these things. And in this way, everyone is full of fear. So And in this fearful condition, we've turned to Maya and the illusory material energy, and we become bewildered by Maya. And we've come to see the world, all the dualities of this world, hot, cold, good, bad, all these things. And we become so fearful. But actually, Gurudev says that even though Maya is alluring us, actually, all this sense gratification, it has no real substance. That we run after it, but actually, it doesn't give us real happiness or satisfaction. So we are entrapped by Maya, in the jail of Maya. That means the subtle body, the gross body, the mind, and this material body is entrapped. But how can we become free from this Maya? How we can become free is by surrendering to Guru and understanding the Guru is our very life and soul. So like I was saying before, one who has that faith and that love for Guru and does Vishrambhena Guru Seva, very intimate service to his Guru, understanding that actually my body is very dear to me, but my Guru is actually really the most dear, and his body and his everything is the most dear, and my body is only meant to be engaged in his service. Okay, so we can go on next slide. Okay, now this, I was going to go on to explain the 4 types of Guru, but I think it's oh no, this is, sorry, before the 4 types of Guru. This is I'm going to go very quickly now because we really need to finish up. So Guru Padashaya Diksha Guru Sevana Saddharma Shiksha Pricha Sadhu Marganugamana. The first and foremost limbs of sadhana bhakti relate directly to Guru. So that is that one must accept a bona fide Guru, one must accept initiation from him, one must serve him, one must receive instructions from him and inquire from him, and one must follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So we can go on because questions. Okay, so we could just go flick very quickly through the questions.
Haribol Charu, is this the end, or is there still another section? Only because
I mean, what I could do is leave the other section till the next time if you want, because I don't want to keep anyone too long. It is getting late. So yeah, it's definitely getting very late.
I have a meeting. I'm sorry, because I thought it was going to be over about half an hour ago, but
yeah, sorry about that. We went over. We started a bit late and we went over. But what we could just finish up with this, and then we'll leave the next section till next time. So that I was going to explain the different types of gurus, but we can leave that till next time. So yeah, so just go quickly through the. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay, so questions. Karina Maidi.
All right, so we just have 3 questions. We'll go through them quickly here. What are the first 3 limbs of bhakti relating to Guru? And again, that question is, what are the first 3 limbs of bhakti relating to Guru? And does anybody hands up? So we can tie that in with our acharya if you want to just go ahead and give a brief explanation.
So Guru Padashraya means to take shelter of the Guru. Then Guru Padashraya, we should approach the Guru and inquire from him and accept diksha, initiation from him. So we should take instruction from him like that. So these are the first limbs of bhakti.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
there was a question about why Pariprishna will be in the middle. So there's Pranipad, Pariprishna, and then Seva. So normally in Sanskrit, when you see three actions put together, the core action is put in the middle because the other two things are supportive. So one has to approach Guru, means Pranipat, and you explained it so nicely, so I'm not reiterating that explanation to give everything essentially. Then Pariprishna is the core relationship between Guru and disciple, because Guru has to become enlightened. And even when he first approaches the Guru, he has no idea how to properly do Seva. So Seva is some degree embedded in Saranagati in Pranipat. So that Seva he can render. But then after making inquiry from Guru Dev and becoming enlightened, now he can begin to do real Seva.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice point. Thank you so much, Mukunda. So yeah, so what first one should accept a guru, take shelter of a guru, then one should accept diksha, initiation from him, then one must serve him, and then receive instructions from him and follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. They're the first 5 limbs of the 64 limbs of bhakti relating to guru. So then we can go on to the next question.
Sure. So the last question I'll ask is, what does it mean by the guru being the captain of the boat? And in this verse that we mentioned, what is the boat and what are the favorable winds? So if anybody would like, oh, Maribel. Oh, you're on mute, sorry.
Mute, sorry. So the guru is like at the helm of the ship or the boat, and he's guiding us while we're in our physical bodies. I thought I had something more to say, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's very
that's
good.
it.
Yeah. Yes, giving instructions and guiding. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Yes. And how did you want to add about the wind or?
Oh yes, sorry. The wind. The favorable winds are the Shastra, the instructions that we find from Krishna in the scriptures, from Krishna or other acharyas, Vaishnavas, like that. You know. So they're the favorable winds propelling us on course. Okay.
Wonderful. And that's I think all we have time for today. There was one question.
That was all the questions, huh?
Yes, I do have one question that someone submitted here. And it's so it says here, someone was asking if someone can someone have more than one guru, and how to keep them all happy, if so.
Okay. Yes, that's what I was going to go on to. There's different types of gurus. There's Chaita Guru, there's Vatma Pradakshika Guru, of course, I explain that next time. And then Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru. There's only one Diksha Guru. In Shastra, it said you can only accept one Diksha Guru, but there can be many Shiksha Gurus. So, and your Diksha Guru could be your Shiksha Guru as well. Like for me, when Gurudev was physically present, for me, he was both my Diksha and Shiksha Guru. But some took shelter of another Shiksha Guru or Shiksha Gurus, plural, like that. And, you know, now, after Gurudev's departed, of course, it's recommended to take shelter of a Shiksha Guru, because we're going on to school, and you know, we haven't finished our education. So we need further education, and therefore a Shiksha Guru is recommended. Yeah, I'm just answering very brief, but I could explain more next time about the different types of gurus. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Is there any other questions or no? Okay. So Mukunda Babu, did you want to add anything at the end? It's so late now. So but if you
No,
want
no, I did it because I appreciate it's late. I also have a counseling call. I
Yeah.
put them on because I wanted to finish hearing everything. I really so much appreciate this. One thing might be that Shiksha Guru should be equal to Diksha Guru. So sometime we may not be able to find Shiksha Guru, but Vatma Pradaksha Guru may be many. Like Charu will be one for me because she invited me to this conference. And there's so many people who will point the way on the path of bhakti. So they may not be like your Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru in that category, but because they help to point the way on the path, then many people will be Vatma Pradaksha Guru. So that'll be more permanent.
Yeah, Mukunda Babu is just being humble there. Definitely, he is more like my guru. He's so learned and qualified. So yes, yeah, I was going to go into much more detail about this. What is Vatma Pradaksha Guru? What is Chaita Guru? What is Diksha, Shiksha Guru? Like this next time, we can go into that. Okay. So anyone else, any last question or comment? No? Okay. Anyway, I just want to thank you all so much. You've been so patient. I'm really sorry it went over time. I think I tried to cram in too much. So next time I won't cram in so much. But yeah, anyway, it's always nice to go through these points of Guru Tattva, the very important points, and to get a deep understanding of who is Guru, why we need Guru, what the qualifications of Guru, and all these things. These are very important. So please accept my Dandavat Pranams, everyone, and thank you so much for attending, and thank you so much, Krsna Didi, for asking the questions, and Krishna Prema Didi for showing the slides, and Krsna Didi also helped make these slides, all these beautiful decorative slides she helped make, and thank you so much for that. And Krishna Prema Didi, she's very beautiful bhajan in the beginning, and maybe we could just finish with very, very little more mantra, if that's possible, Krishna Prema Didi.
Yeah, no
Are you still
problem.
there? Okay, thank you.
There
Just
is
a few minutes. Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Very nice. I just wanted to add very quickly, we should also thank Shashank Gupta for the YouTube channel. So last week's was posted on the YouTube channel, which is Bhakti Basics, and then this class will also be shared with the slides as well on the YouTube channel.
And the Bhakti Basics Facebook page as well, right?
Yes, and on the Facebook page as well.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much, everyone. If anyone or everyone wants to unmute and put their video on, we can just say Haribol.
Haribol, thank you so much.
Haribol.
Beautiful
Thumbs
class.
up.
Haribol.
Haribol, Maribel, Haribol. You answered so many questions this time.
Yeah.
No, not like me.
Nice.
Hare Krishna, see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks again. Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Haribol, everyone. Haribol, thank you so much. Okay. Haribol. We can end now, I think.